Exactly, and there we go. Anish, looking over for approval. Can I start the clock? You may.
Yes, Anish, we give you permission.
Here we go.
The games are off. It's the English opening. I approve, Ding. I greatly approve. And Anish, pawn of his own. And finally, Daniel, after all of that eerie atmosphere, we have liftoff.
Indeed, after all of the fanfare, pomp and circumstance, light and darkness, we have a Queen's Gambit declined. Slightly anticlimactic opening, but can't really blame Anish for wanting to be solid out of the gates. And bishop to e7, one of the more fashionable moves, of course, eschewing the classical knight f6, David, but at this point, bishop e7 is essentially just as mainstream.
Yeah, and the idea is to not allow White willingly, on White's terms, to kind of erect this pin with bishop on g5, hitting a knight on f6, just keeping Black's options open, and saying to White, yes, you can develop your dark square bishop, but it's only going to land as far as f4. And of course, a variety of ways Ding can play this. He can bring his bishop out after maybe an exchange of pawns in the center. He can just keep the tension by bringing his knight out. A lot of choice for White at this early stage. They tend to take the pawn though. That tends to be the trendy move before landing a bishop on f4.
Yeah, I want to say that the only line I've ever seen here is like c takes d5, e takes d5, bishop f4, and then you sometimes see Black readjusting the dark squared bishop to d6. The point of these types of openings is that because there's not much going on in the center, Black can often afford to spend multiple tempi making multiple moves with the same piece. But Ding, taking his time, I'm sure there are other moves. Knight f3 is obviously also a feasible possibility. I feel like in a situation like this in the World Championship, David, we saw like h3. Maybe we'll see a3, you never know in 2024. h4, I'm sure, is probably like a top 3 suggestion by Leela, but not today. Today we see traditional chess. C takes d5 on the board.
Yeah, traditional move, Queen's Gambit declined. This is pretty much the defining structure. We'll soon see the Carlsbad structure. And I don't know about you, Daniel, but I loved it during the World Championship, where it felt like Ding was freestyling. He was playing these weird, wacky, wonderful lines, which may be a bit dubious, but it felt like he was pushing himself out of his comfort zone just as much as his opponent. And the results were spectacular. I mean, win or loss, Ding's games were so much fun to watch. Maybe he needs something like that just to kick him, or just to force him out of this kind of funk he's found himself in this tournament, yet to really kind of shine, as we're used to seeing him do.
I agree completely. I mean, I think that he needs to get some sort of a strategic battle. I think he struggled in head-to-head tactics. We saw that against Ali Reza. He made a direct blunder.
and I don't really want to take that knight and connect your pawns, but does black have anything else? If black just moves rook h5, but that's or rook somewhere, then at least white can
I like this
be still on a couple of pawns.
Yeah, here again, if I take and take, this just feels very, very wrong. Because probably... Okay, queen f5 is not the move. What is the move here? Why is it plus a million?
Okay, we can do this. We can work this out.
We can do this. We can absolutely do
Rook
this.
takes d5.
Queen takes d5.
Didn't quite work. Knight f4, there's a check on c5.
Queen g5! And there's a force g1?
Loose piece is dropped off.
Oh my gosh, too soon, man. Don't tell that to Ding Liren after the blunder. But what a move, queen g5. And again, rook on h2, king on b1. One fork leads to another. And this would lead to defeat. But this is exactly the kind of thing that's very easy to blunder when you flirt with disaster on the clock.
Yeah.
And so... Okay, Giri took with the knight.
Okay, we see a couple of moves, and okay, a3 from Ding, that's a classy one, not walking into that knight fork you mentioned, but just preparing a bit of luft, a bit of air for white king. And okay, quick judgment call. Here, Danya, do you prefer white, do you prefer black still, after thinking that white's position's still a bit loose?
Yes, I think Ding is on the back foot here. I think he's trying to equalize. I think Giri essentially can bail out whenever he wants to. Probably even knight takes d4 here would lead to some sort of trades, but I don't think Anish will play for a draw. I think he's playing for a win. I think we might see him go rook d8 and try to consolidate, improve his king position. And, in the long run, yes, there are no immediate earth-shattering tactics, but, these pawns are really weak and they're not going anywhere. And if Anish can make a couple of improving moves, I think Ding will have to demonstrate a lot of precision here to maintain the balance. I like where this is going for Anish, yes, and I like where his king is going. This is...
One, which is not obvious at all, and in the meantime we have a result. A draw peace treaty between Ding and Giri.
Well, it is The Hague. This is the place for peace treaties.
That was criminal, agreeing a draw there.
Very good.
Wow, okay, and we will recap the